好了，那我们现在看到呢，这就是德国队在这场比赛派出来的阵容。好，我们看到的是卢卡果然能够上场啊，是身穿7号球衣。另外呢，10号的穆拉也有上场，当然呢是不能少的就是15号的科拉这个防守的大将。诶，森莫尔也在场上，哇，这场呢可以说是绝对的主力阵容全部都出场了。这看到的是布拉格斯巴达这场比赛，哇，看到他们是蛮麻烦的，有几个黄牌在身呢。我们看这场比赛呢，跟上一场比赛有所不同的呢是有个5号的球员，那5号的球员呢是赫纳克，赫纳克呢他这场比赛呢是有上场踢了。6张黄牌啊，就是5号的上场没有，另外呢还有是7号的希斯克是没有。好，那我们看这场比赛是多特蒙特的主场。这是多特蒙特的替补球员。上一场呢14号的托兰贝特是领了一张黄牌。球员都出来了。那多特蒙特在上一场比赛呢，他们是以1-0打败了加拉塔萨雷，这是土耳其的队伍。这场比赛呢是他们第一场的主场的比赛。所以呢，看到底他们的主场的成绩呢是打得怎么样？那他们在捧得去年的冠军的时候呢，他们本身呢就是虽然说是客场啊，但是也是跟主场一样。因为呢，正好呢是在抽签的时候呢，因为在比赛开始之前已经知道决赛会在哪里上演，他们结果抽在了慕尼黑的奥林匹克体育场，等于是在自己的主场比赛一样。大家看这个颜色就可以知道了。听到现场的声音，我相信踢起来呢，这个球员呢也会特别兴奋啊。
是啊，因为这个已经这场赛希望比赛都是双方还是占优。
好，那我们看这个呢，就是森莫尔，德国的可以说德国国家队的自由人，也是队长啊。他在这个位置上呢，可以说是完完全全的是起了一个骨干的作用。你看到现在两边的球员呢还没有入出球场。好了，一说曹操就到。这场比赛的队长是路特，鲁特尔呢是今年呢也是只有31岁，但是在队中呢已经是属于了老大哥了。除了一个费尔辛格奥地利的球员，还有巴西的西塞尔之外呢，他的年龄呢已经算是排的蛮高的了。 但是在欧洲超过30岁的人踢球还大有人在。我看这个球场确实是非常非常的漂亮，多特蒙特的主场。欧洲联赛冠军杯的大会的主题曲。
Borussia Dortmund did win their opening European game away to Galatasaray, but since then they've lost twice in the Bundesliga. They're only 12th in the table. There's been criticism of the new coach Nevio Scala. Injuries and suspensions have made it very difficult for Scala to develop a settled side. Sama, Reuter and Müller, who were all missing in Turkey, are fit tonight, but Paulo Sousa has served his one-match ban. As for Sparta Prague, well, they recruit very much from close to home. All 11 from the Czech Republic. Veterans like Ivan Hašek and Nemeček helped Czechoslovakia to the quarterfinals of the World Cup back in 1990. And the number 5 Forniak played in the final of the European Championship last year. They are missing a suspended midfield player, Baranek. Martin Hašek, no relation to Ivan, comes in. Of the Borussia Dortmund winning side in Munich, Paul Lambert is relegated to the substitutes bench tonight. Lars Ricken isn't risked in this game because of a thigh strain, and the defender Martin Kray is also injured. But Sparta Prague is dominating form in their own country. They played 7-1-7 in their own league. And their one match in Group A of the Champions League at home to Parma finished goalless. The referee is a telecommunications expert from Portugal, Vitor Melo Pereira. He speaks 4 languages, incidentally, neither German nor Czech. Well, this is a terrific setting, the Westfalen Stadium. 4 matches of this magnitude. They have a wonderful 50,000 plus crowds here. But the fans have been frowning recently with the way Borussia Dortmund have been playing in domestic competition, and they'll be expecting something a bit more substantial tonight. Shakuzar, an early goal would come on this for Borussia Dortmund's nerves, and Herlick in the centre couldn't quite supply it. Check just stepping the ball away. The goalkeeper Koshkulka. Free kick to Dortmund. The criticism from Nevio Scala his players have been that they've lacked a certain amount of appetite, a certain amount of hunger. His last season's success spoilt them in that respect. Really hoping to get some sort of supply in the centre. Reuter. Müller, who's so gifted. He's captain getting away the shot from Herlick. Sparta, you would really expect to come here and make sure they get plenty of players behind the ball. They're side capable of breaking swiftly, but they know that there's some early pressure coming their way here. important from their point of view not to defend too deep and not to just draw Borussia Dortmund on to the point where they have to break through. They're giving away free kicks, including Scala in that sort of position. Somehow the Italian coach and his new charges haven't quite been on the same wavelength. That happened at Bayern Munich, you might recall, here in Germany when Trapattoni came from Italy. They gradually settled down in that first season, but it took some time, as it's doing here. And it with a header. Holding right in the thick of things. Carlos Sosa and Heisinga trying to get themselves involved, and not sure perhaps to depend on Andy Muller, who's a player of moves, undoubtedly talented. His move hasn't been too good recently. Very strange to see the Bundesliga table with Borussia Dortmund, who won 2 titles in a row and then finished 3rd last season, sacrificing the chance of a hat-trick of championships because of their concentration on the Champions League. Finally in 12th place. It's what we're getting used to. Josef Hovhannes was a great player in his time, and that's pretty recently. He's now in charge of Sparta Praha, the club he graced for a good number of years. Tola, who's recovered from a heavy cold that kept him out of the defeat here to Munich 1860 last weekend. Carlos Sosa, who not only won this tournament with Borussia Dortmund last year, won it the year before with Juventus. It's a marvellous achievement. He's some hat-trick if he could be on the inside again. And it's a useful piece of play by Lopez, international striker for Sparta. Penetrating pass, and first real piece of defending that Borussia Dortmund have had to do with just over 5 minutes gone. A group that's promising to be very tight, the 2 matches in it. So far just producing the 1 goal from Stefan Şapuzar. You saw it live on Star Sports in Turkey. It wasn't a classic match, but it was a very, very good result for Borussia Dortmund, in contrast to what's been happening to them in the Bundesliga. Okay, one of the markers at the back. This kick on the short side. Well, having to turn. And finally, runner coming in behind him. Nemecek, who's a crafty customer. Ivan Hashek, number 4, has got into the centre, it's played in towards him. But it's important from a Sparta Praha perspective to do more than just try and put up the barricades. Henry Sanders recovered from knee trouble. In behind Şapuzar. Cross just too high for Helic. Heinrich. Heisinga playing in midfield tonight. He has been the player standing in a sweeper at times over the last year or so for Zama, who's missed more football than he would have cared to do so. Kohler. Stefan Reuter. Put some bend on that to suit the run of Helik. It is an extraordinary start to the season for Sparta Praha in their own league. Very much in current form, the best team in the Czech Republic. And the whistle's gone. Kijek brought down. Svoboda. Online Novotny. Reuter to play it forward. It's not been a swashbuckling start from Borussia Dortmund. It's not the frame of mind really that the players are in. You perhaps recall the confidence shown in this stadium by pretty much the same group of players in their march to the title last season. They've really got to win a battle from within themselves as much as beat the opposition here tonight. Zama. Feisinger. Now Chapuisat. Knocked aside. Free kick to Borussia Dortmund. Foul by Novotny. Trying to track the Swiss striker. Is this within the range of Andy Muller? Helik joining the wall, trying to make a nuisance of himself, trying to work their way around it, and it was a reasonable effort. Run up the deception, the side foot pass down the side of the wall and hoping another ball in behind the line of Sparta Praha defenders. Kijek, number 7, Svoboda. They do a splendid job in this stadium of whipping up the atmosphere before the teams come out. There's acoustics, use of music, and surprising to an English visitor, so many English songs. You'll Never Walk Alone was one of them. The Euro 96 anthem, 3 lines on the shirt, played here, all to try and get the backing for the German club. Borussia Dortmund concerned about defending a corner. Full figure of Lopez. Siegel, the other striker, in there as well. Horniak's come up. Now the referee, rather than maybe favour the defenders and give a free kick, and there's a bit of pushing and shoving going on, as is often the way. It's decided to be retaken, and he warned the players. He's watching very closely what happens here. Borussia trying to push out. And now claims that there was a push in there on Siegel, not from Siegel himself, which was significant. coming here fresh from their latest victory in the Czech Republic League, 4-1 over vying. Reuter. No real rhythm about the Dortmund play to this point. Very, very important to get the right results in the home games, especially for Dortmund having won their first away game in testing circumstances in Turkey. Check with the header away. Decent try from Paulo Sousa. A quick break here for Sparta, and a quick recovery from Reuter to stop Siegel in his tracks. That's what Borussia Dortmund have got to guard against. Paulo Sousa. Wide by Muller for Reuter. They're just beginning to feel their way into this game, Sparta Prague. As a club, they have more European experience. It's their 25th campaign in the various European club competitions, compared to only the 16th for Borussia Dortmund. A bit further than the semi-finals, that was at the Conference Cup back in the early 70s. What is prominent on their record is a couple of good victories over German sides, Schalke and Werder Bremen in the past. Oh, there's a deflection there. They could have had Kostilka stranded. From Muller's effort, the ball flying away from the Sparta goal. And here comes the corner. Kostilka, a pretty good punch. And the cross is not going quite into the right areas as yet. And Herlick getting a bit of a dressing down from the referee. It's a challenge that caught Horniak. You do see forwards tackling with rather poor technique, and that was an example of that, and the referee saw it as that rather than anything really malicious. Isaac. On from Kohler to Reuter. Herlick tracked all the way by Redcar. To reach the language problem, gesturing that he played the ball. But a free kick it is nonetheless. And Nemecek just touching it away at the crucial moment. Muller is one of those players who does like to run the show. Shot by Martin Hašek. for Borussia Dortmund. Against a very organised side from the Czech Republic, a nation, of course, that distinguished itself. And in the end, there's been one challenge too many from Relive. The 18th minute, the first yellow card, and it goes to a home player. This is first in the group. But just to remind you, 2 bookings in separate games, and you do miss the next match for that second yellow card. And there was an off-the-ball collision there that the referee had to rule about intent. As to whether Muller was brought down deliberately, he thought so, and now Muller wants to see a yellow card produced for his marker. The referee doesn't oblige. It's a big goalkeeper's ball. Elliott's header. The introduction of Nelio Scala seemed a very sensible choice as the coach when Otmar Hitzfeld was elevated to director of sport here at Borussia Dortmund. Just 2 wins from the opening 8 league games, and he's obviously concerned that Europe maybe is a major platform to impress his new employers. Botany still going man to man on Shepard. That's a better ball, and it's led to Relive. Glancing in the goal that's applauded by the coach and 50,000 others here. Well, that's a real tonic with 20 minutes gone. Crosses hadn't been too good, but that was a splendid one, and it just needed a touch really, and Relive was able to supply it. A tentative beginning, and now a finely worked goal, and the mood is eased for the holders of the European Cup. They've come pretty comfortably, Sparta, but now they'll have to find a bit more force further forward, and they will also find opponents that will be able to relax and express themselves a little better than they were doing up to the goal. The player who in a way summed up the frustration of the first part of the story here, ending with a booking, Michael Relive. But now he has lifted the spirits in the Westfalen Stadium. It's Borussia Dortmund 1, Sparta Praha 0. Offense. There are enough players round to clear it. And that almost got his cheers at the goal. Paulo Sosa's superb centre, and Relive just using the pace on the ball to angle in the header. Zama. Free kick. against Horniak. Maybe the chance for a similar sort of routine here. Herrick would hope so. If he gets his fist to it. Forward by Reinhardt. It is Shakuza. And the whistle has gone before the shot. On the foul by Shakuza. See the referee putting his whistle to his mouth. Stage these days. Returning to Sparta with promise after some running repairs here for Horniak. Promise certainly for Nemecek of a coaching career. His playing days finally come to an end. On offence. Repka. This is Martin Hasek. By Samuel, but not very far. Ivan Hasek, the shot took a deflection. Close was clawing at it in any case. And that's a positive response from Sparta to going a goal down. Not the best or tidiest piece of work you'll ever see from Matty Asama, but he got a piece of the shot. Probably would have just gone over the bar in any case, but close might probably help it on his way. Complimentary handshake from Hasek to the goalkeeper. Walking his efforts then. Another corner though. Rodney a bit away from fighting it. Kola heading away. Sanger as well, back by Nemecek. Plenty of players in here, including Ivan Hasek. And that's got to be a foul for dangerous play. You can understand them going for the ball. Reuter and Carlos Sosa in there. And Freisinger as well. Freisinger. Here's Repka. That's a mistake to Moller. Almost playing Shakuzari. People won't want the players in front of him to be as culpable as they were then. Now the referee gives Borussia Dortmund a useful touch. Who's had a playing career, also took him for a couple of years into Holland at PSV. Heinrich. And the flag went up and Eric denied goal number 2. That must have been very close. I just wonder evidence by the narrowest of margins. You'd have to say that the assistant on his near side was justified in getting his flag up, but it was very, very close. Reuter. Rising ahead of the play. Looking to the right of Reuter back. Jürgen Kohler. It's been rotation from Borussia Dortmund. Relaxed going now, all the better for it. Shapuza. Sharp turn. Zizek. Who was pulled unfairly then. The game goes on and Kostilka can stop it by kicking the ball out. There's a dislocation here to be dealt with. And Martin Zizek. Brutal look at the hand. Ball, there seems to be too much intent on Reuter's part. Zizek stopped immediately and could have left his side in a particularly perilous position because of that. Reuter. Good running by Feisinger, the Austrian. Well, the player who was injured earlier, Korniak, has to go off, and that's a blow. An experienced campaigner who was a real bastion of the Czech Republic team in the Euro 96. Obaidin has come on. Reshuffling here, he's more attack-minded. Hashek slotting in on that right-hand side at the moment. Ivan Hashek, that is. Almost a half an hour played. Zama. Pretty straightforward through the centre. It's Crusade to reach it. Unsuccessful that time. Well, in the Champions League, like any league, winning is paramount importance. The difference might become a factor. And if we finish top of the group, there's a place in the quarterfinals at stake. It's like these 6 mini leagues of 4 classy clubs. The 2 places go to the 2 best runners-up. Borussia Dortmund hope that they are showing horse in this particular section. From Galatasaray. Kostilka able to deal with that. There was a worrying gap for Sparta. Inside left channel. Jörg Heinrich very much involved with the German national team these days. I'm hoping that involvement will continue into the World Cup finals in France. So much of this season with an extra focus for the players. We'll see this rarefied level of the club game. impressed their respective national coaches. And there's one involved from the European qualifiers in France. And Heinrich, who treated that line of commentary really. And the player coming through into a scoring position through the centre. Cheesy. Returning work. Reuter. Muller. And the movement very good. But once more, Franco Herlich has had the ball in the Sparta net 3 times now. And this time, the official got it wrong. Herlich clearly onside when the ball was played. A real reprieve for Sparta. 1-0 as it shines on the electronic scoreboard here. It would really be 2-0. It is one of the most difficult tasks for any of the officials really, for the assistants to get these offside decisions right all the time. Zuzek, who is very comfortable on his left foot, not looking very strong, he got onto the right. As defenders move up and attackers time their runs. Hitzfeld there on the right of your picture. Might be very simplifying to say that Borussia Dortmund will lose this game tonight, but as for to take over running the team again, but they're not looking like losing it at the moment. And Sosa, a terrific block by Nemecek. Under pressure. Maybe a sign of the sweeping counter-attacking football that Sparta are capable of. TJ. Martin Hashek. Off the head of Kola. And again, spread and understood Borussia Dortmund. Supposed to move into themselves. They've got 2 in the centre here. And everything at the moment in an attacking sense revolving around Herlich. Those at the power base of Borussia Dortmund will be feeling a bit happy with that line. Not only have they got a goal, they also had one wrongly ruled out, but they do look as though they're starting to find the measure of the opposition. It's only 1-0. There's no time for complacency here. And Sosa, Portugal, of course. His pass. And he used the full width of the pitch with the ball out to the right hand side. To go at half time, it's 1-0 to Borussia Dortmund. Reuter. Repka. fairy flick. Zizek. In the end, the press two abruptly by Souza. The captain taking the free kick, and Ivan Hasek sure that should have been a corner. Not the case, because Sama was jumping behind him. Break on here. Campaigner down the left-hand side towards Reinhardt. Didn't figure too prominently in the Champions League endeavours last season, but has been involved in both the matches so far in Group A for Borussia Dortmund. To retain their title. Defending first of all. Sama. Offense making a challenge, and wondering whether perhaps the ball might run on through for Siegel to chase. Heinrich. Get it right, if you see what I mean. Borussia Dortmund. Rising. He's quite happy to run to the wide positions. He's still a very good goal scorer at this level of the game. But he so much of the donkey work as well. Kelly can hold his position in the centre and try and get free of his marker to react to a cross. On that occasion, the reaction was to try and come up with the acrobatic. I reckon they're doing enough to put him off. Charging it down, but Sparta picking up the pace from an attack here with Ivan Hasek. Got a man over, it's Zizek. And no one following in as the ball came off the goalkeeper. Incredibly knocked it moved away from the centre of the goal. But Zizek getting the shot on target, and it was as good a move as Sparta Praha to put together in this first half. With 3 minutes and a half remaining. A reminder, he will back across the knuckles to Borussia Dortmund, and the job isn't completed here by any means. Loading into trouble, Herlich. He gives it away to Zizek. And here's Scarlett. Sees promising position disappear as quickly as it started. Mistakes from both sides in that episode. The next 2 games for Dortmund in this Group A are away and at home to club that Scala serves so well, Parma. Really should be a battle of wits. Lopez, who a week ago was playing for the Czech Republic in national water. Oh, getting more within range. Nemechek, who the Spartans found this season, he's been abroad in France with Toulouse and closely with Servette. A bit of a problem. His belongings back in the Czech Republic because they included totes of vintage wine that he collected on his travels. Not a connoisseur, so we're led to believe. It's not truly been the first half of the football connoisseur here because the way Borussia Dortmund have found themselves in their league form, but it's got better for them as the half has developed. Of course, the goal was the trigger to that, and you can see the extra zest that's Freisinger coming on the scene here with a first-time effort. Struka concerned about whether it was inside or outside that right-hand post. Very important for Sparta, you feel that they don't concede a second goal before half-time. You can see how close we are to that half-time break. Well, there is the half-time whistle. A slow beginning for Borussia Dortmund, and you can see the anxieties in the camp after some recent disappointments in the Bundesliga. The goal from Helic settling the nerves, and Sparta Praha, who seemed quite happy to defend for that opening 20 minutes, forced into a position where they've had to show more attacking ideas.
主要是利用防守突击的话，所以他们在这个后防是有多几个球员在等不明白，那你就把进的机会就可惜。
我们现在看到的有部分斯巴达布拉格的球员呢，已经是回到了球场上。不过我们在上一场比赛曾经呢是为大家介绍过呢，斯巴达他们在面对意大利的波尔马的时候呢，他们就是靠一两下的快速反击，把波尔马的后防线呢给压在了自己的半场上，不敢轻易的往前助攻。但这场比赛呢，我们看到上半场的时候，多特蒙德呢似乎也没有说太多的助攻，特别是他们的森莫尔6号的球员塞马。他本身在德国国家队，甚至于在上一届的比赛当中看到他本身呢是经常，他是属于这种德国式的自由人，也就是贝根巴开始的这个年代呢，他就是把球直接从后卫线呢推进到前场，然后组织进攻。这场比赛呢，看到他基本上没有施展这一招的功夫，可能呢在赛前的部署呢，我们相信主教练的 Scala 也是希望能够在上半场呢先稳守，不要丢球啊。
梯级这个把这个位置定位的话，是比如说后面有打击的机会。
好，那我们看呢是森莫尔，如果在下半场呢会不会往前开一下呢？这就要留意。如果森莫尔往前推的话，我相信他们的进攻能力相对来比上半场来讲呢是更强一点。当然最重要的，我们现在要为大家留意一下，看有没有做出一个换人。 小腿上，4人一起，这是多特蒙特的前锋。
A little bit more contented with life in the stadium that generates so much atmosphere. With Borussia Dortmund starting in the second half, 1 goal to the good. And the players, I'm sure, will have heard about the injustice of the second goal being ruled out for a non-existent offside. So Heiko Herrlich with just 1 to his name when it should have been 2. And Sparta Praha, the club with a winning habit in their own league, have got to show their mettle here. Sent tumbling by Reinhardt. Lopez. The player brought on for the unfortunate Horniak. Chance for replacement to work his way down the right hand side. Never really in control of that situation. I wouldn't say that Borussia Dortmund are in control of the match. They really have a greater attacking threat. They have the advantage of the lead. Back in these circumstances, be very strong favourites to keep control of the situation. They'll have to wait and see. Second goal will of course be the ideal start to the second half. That was good an attack that they put together really in the game, and Herrlich once more getting himself on the end of the cross. Injection pace, encouraging Sparta to try and play at the same tempo. It's not their natural way, it's a more simple style of football really that they like to put on show. And you have to have the pace and the power to deal with teams like Borussia Dortmund. Kizek, and again. Not wanting to shoot with the right foot after that tame effort in the first half. Obadin forcing a corner for Sparta. Andy Muller having to do some defending. Not coming naturally to him. Post, not called upon. From the corner taker, Kijek. Come back and try and go onside, and now has to go all the way across the pitch. He's trying to get a bit of cover on for him. He takes his time. Since the split between the Czech Republic and Slovakia, Sparta Czech championship 3 times in 4 seasons. Actually 19 occasions on which they were champions of the old Czechoslovakia. Reinhardt. That's a trademark burst from him. It's led to a Dortmund corner. Lifting the ball over an defensive challenge. Definitely enough to appreciate it. Muller will take the corner. Trying to get free again. player producing a regular supply of strikes at goal. Muller. That's a dangerous ball. And claims that it could be a penalty awarded by the Portuguese official, but he's pointed all right, but pointed for a corner. But it was a top quality ball from Muller. In from Kohler. Goodness me. What a chance that was. From Muller. Perfect delivery from Kohler's cross, but not the perfect header. So the ball that issues the invitation to be knocked into the net, but it was an invitation that Andy Muller spurned. Pass, Siegel. Mashek, who's still got a trick or two up his sleeve. An angle for a cross here. Ball into our post area. And Martin Mashek has ventured up and he returns it. An awkward height of ball to deal with. But more zip and zest about the play at the moment. Carlo Sousa's pass. Elliott. Slow things down. Shakiza. Not an easy one for Costa to take, but on the move. He dealt with it in a straightforward manner. That's Scarlett's reaction to Muller's miss. Deal with that. A comfortable time on that Borussia Dortmund bench for those who guided the team, and could have made it more relaxing for the time that remains. Carlo Sousa, whose terrific cross produced the one goal of the game from Herlich. Koshkuka. Nemechek. This is Rota. In for Muller. Encouragement and the Borussia Dortmund supporters are providing at the moment. Muller. Now Carlo Sousa, and there he is. Across a further shot from that top corner. Really clear from where the ball ended up. Andy Muller spurred the chance to shoot it himself, maybe. Maybe a little bashful in that respect after missing with a header. A neat pass reverse to Sousa. Well, the defensive midfield man Martin Mashek goes off. On comes Peter Gabriel. So Hoganets is a second alteration. I suspect that is a tactical one. The first was a Hornet's injury. There's still could be something in this for Sparta. They might do more defending, but 1-0. There is more caliber in attacking play. Dortmund lead. They could be going two behind here. They were caught out by the movement upfield of Feisinger. again, Helik's pass was crucial. The headed pass was nicely down the slot for Freisinger to chase. Heinrich was caught there by Obadi. Yellow card for him. Lunge, but to have avoided most of the challenge. That's the most atmospheric part of the evening, certainly the crowd dictating that. The Borussia Dortmund team trying to respond to the backing that they're getting at the moment. Somewhat gingerly, the man with the ginger hair, Zama. It was seen off by Yuri Novotny. He's been a great servant to Sparta, one club man. Touchline and turning into Obadi, who's not really played in Huniak's role on the right hand side. Reinhardt with a throw. It was up there. Whether his hand was just up by his head as the ball arrived, that was possibly the reason. Abadi. Still by Freisinger. You feel there's plenty of fuel left in the tank for Borussia Dortmund here. And Reinhardt on the scene. The sweeper had to come across and block the shot. And one or two worrying gaps opening up here. Very good Nemechek. Worrying if you're a Sparta fan, but encouraging if you're backing Borussia Dortmund. Already. Check. Trying to get Zizek moving down the left-hand side, but now he's got to get back and he gives away the free kick. Jürgen Kohler continues to be a great credit to his profession, going on for 100 caps for Germany now. Current incumbent as Footballer of the Year in this country. Freisinger. Attacked by Zama. Well, that's great play by Shapuza. Once he turns onto the left foot, then the problems loom large. And he made space for himself, and he got the ball with his back to goal. He just daren't let strikers of his calibre return. He had the strength to withstand the challenge, the one challenge, there should have been others. And then the shot was unerring, across beyond the left arm of Koszulka. Nestling sweetly into the back of the net for Stefan Shapuza. Well, he hasn't seen too many chances in this game. Most of them have fallen to Helik, the scorer of the first goal. But there really is breathing space now for Borussia Dortmund. Or is there? And was trying not to prevent the goal, but to prevent a corner. classic moment when you just scored, you're supposed to, the legend has it, at your most vulnerable. Well, suddenly Siegel had a chance to shoot. Well, it's pleasing for Shafuza because it was another contribution for him in the European scene. Remember, he got the winner in Turkey 2 weeks ago. But you do feel here, as a neutral observer, that the ones who really deserve that goal have been the Borussia Dortmund supporters. They've been absolutely splendid in the second half, and the players have lifted their game in response, and they should hold a winning hand now. The German club, one of 3, of course, in the Champions League this season. By Rota. Players turning away, hanging their heads as that was misplaced by Nemecek. Well, this is just what the doctor ordered. They'll be calling Scala, Dr. Scala, because he's taking a view on the medical side of things at the club, and that is what the half end, but the player not so sure himself. Stealth in Sparta's play, but just lacking the strength to go with it, and Borussia Dortmund winning the ball on a regular basis, well up the pitch now, and anything threatening to win this game pulling away. Siegel. Throw it out. He likes to go forward and does so very effectively in Sparta's domestic matches. And this is a different level altogether. Ziyech. Siegel. Good free kick to Sparta. Calling for 4 in the wall. The tall striker, offense, the obvious target, but Jürgen Kohler is considered the best attackers in the world in his time in the game, and you see his desire shining through as the corner is conceded. They all got centre or near post, or on beyond. And the host broadcasters here, and a happy tale to tell in their own country. The message to the rest of the world is the German spirit is alive and well, if guided by an Italian here. They can play better, Borussia Dortmund, but if you're playing below par and winning in Europe, knowing that there's more to come, well, in a way that's a healthy scenario. service into the attacking players for Sparta. That's been what you would call a clear-cut chance. That was a deflected shot from Ivan Hasek. Close tipped over in the first half. Zizek had a low left footer that the goalkeeper carried out, and there's no harm done. I don't think too much more than that. The physical power of Borussia Dortmund beginning to tell as the game wears on, and the second goal, of course, coming the time to quell perhaps Sparta's belief that they could really get back into the game. It's Muller. With the help of Shapuza. This is what Andy Muller really is all about, coming on to the ball, working with the front man, getting his shot on target. And that sort of role, when he's in the right sort of mood, will do better. Frustration for Paulo Sousa, because the play carried the hallmark of Borussia Dortmund's work in the last 15 minutes or so. He just lost control and gave away the free kick. Zizek. Svoboda. Novotny. Good chance to draw breath perhaps for Borussia Dortmund. They've got plenty of players behind the ball, and numerical odds in their favour. Hit by Feisinger. And Schumacher there. And this goalkeeper, some might say notorious goalkeeper. Germany in that 1982 World Cup. Germany as it was then. The Dortmund coaching staff. Relive. There's much more of this. Didn't come off that time, but you feel that the force is with Borussia Dortmund now. Reinhardt. Here's Heinrich. Stuka knocks it away from a pack of players in the yellow shirts in the centre. What do you think that the perfectly good goal was disallowed? Muller missed, and it seemed harder to do that than score. They're serving up some superiority to the German club. Heinrich! It is really superior stuff now. Jörg Heinrich put absolutely everything into the jump to reach a ball that looked initially as though it might be beyond him. And having got up that high, he still made perfect contact to put it back across the goalkeeper. Was absolutely helpless. Goalkeeper left it to Novotny to win this challenge. Maybe a little push by Heinrich, but he made his own luck. And he made the picture prettier still for Borussia Dortmund. We won't be talking about the trauma in the Bundesliga in Dortmund tonight. They'll be revelling in a performance that was very slow to start because of what has been happening in domestic games, but has picked up particularly in the second half. And Sparta Praha with 100% record in their own league. Getting towards the end of their second game in Group A of the UEFA Champions League, and haven't yet managed a goal. And they're taking off one of their principal attackers, Lockford, for Nemeth, the Slovakian. Asher digging up the cross, conceding the corner. Nemeth. Well, Lockford has found it very heavy going tonight and hasn't had too much help. Corner for Sparta. Suddenly Borussia Dortmund had to turn and reassemble defensively. Not for long. He ventured forward, but he does this time. Unlucky, the pass was just a bit high for him. Postelka could be in trouble. Hashek. Really cool, really, to tell him that he could have got that ball down. Stefan Reuter's cross it was. And Heinrich saying, I'll have that one. And Watney not with quite the same determination. In play. Reinhardt joining Shakuzar in the centre. It's back with Heli. Shakuzar got his head to it with the sort of movement that Sparta are finding hard tonight. You just saw behind him, Svoboda trying to raise his arms to raise the morale of the team that he captains. And Sparta Prague looking well beaten here, certainly second best in the second half. Bench, see what Scala wanted. Going back, and Osama, the few lays here. Asher. To the centre for Nemeth. Shakuzar. Here's Muller. Shakuzar is in for another one. Well, they're not meeting too much resistance, in truth. But that's to take nothing away from the improving and now inspiring Borussia Dortmund. The goalkeeper beyond the despairing regret of Redka. And Shankar, whose first goal was so important in the opening minutes of the second half to get Borussia Dortmund really on track. Well, they are now, and they're expressing their way past Sparta Praha, who was looking to see whether he was coming off before. Has come off now. Mikhail Zorc, the club captain here, is on, and it's 4-1 with that classic moment we said earlier. You're vulnerable when you have scored, and on that occasion, that vulnerability led to a lack of concentration, and a chance that was completely put away by Siegel. Looking across to the linesman to see whether the goal was going to stand, and stand it does. It's hardly going to herald revival. Sparta Praha, but it's their first goal in the group. They'll at least have the comfort of that. And we've got 13 and a half minutes left. While the spirits were with Shankar, concentration was lacking. Horst Siegel started in to take the chance. Make the decision, onside. All is onside, remember. You're absolutely right. And the goalkeeper starting to come through, it's standing. Just can they stop Herlick in his tracks. It has been a much more engrossing second half. All those nerves of Borussia Dortmund have evaporated. Sparta Praha on the receiving end, but proud enough to come up with a goal of their own. Confirmation of that substitution. Zorc for Heisinger, and it may well be that in reorganising to changing personnel, the opportunity that Siegel took. Went up late. One. Daniel Scala's men. Glory of goals for the defenders is matched by shutting out the opposition, so Dortmund will be very disappointed. They've got a blemish on their record. Pass across. Del Piero beat him in this competition. Munich. Exercise the point in the league games. Here's Shankar, he's on a hat-trick. Reinhardt, he got a bump to run for himself, but he lacked the natural attacker's composure. Just trying to bang it past. Gulka. Flew into the fencing, which is a feature of this ground. That end of it. Coming to the final 10 minutes. Sosa. Oh, nice eagle. Paul Lambert comes on to Paulo Sosa for the time that remains. The Scottish international. Qualifier. Latvia. Up to next. Scotland, and they will go to France as the best second place nation. The European sections summer. Elaboration. Yes, over that, great pressure by the player who really has the very first whistle. Not about his business, Michael O'Hare. He didn't shirk anything in that 20 minute, competitive opening 20 minutes. Another side played with a lack of conviction. It's there in abundance now, the self-belief, and there'll be a free kick here as they look for goal number 5. Who was brought here years ago now as the return to the throne that was then being occupied by Karl-Heinz Riedler, who moved to England. He's involved in European football with Liverpool, who just got through to the second round of the UEFA Cup against Celtic from Scotland. The way goals rule. England, whose goals, of course, coming infield to try and take it on the run and catch Borussia Dortmund out. I think the majority of the players now feeling that the job is done. For those who have an actual sense of adventure, who will still be looking to improve the position. Halleck has certainly done his job. And he deserves the reception as he goes off. Scott Booth. Paul Lambert here from Scotland. Bosman ruling. And basically to prove himself in the trial period before getting a contract. He breaks the Booth, whose career has indeed come to a standstill after a very promising beginning. Certainly Scotland scored in Euro 96. Check. Going down under challenge from Booth. minutes. Scoreline looking healthy indeed for Borussia Dortmund. Novotny. Well, so run down the clock. Rather stranded then, but already couldn't get away. So, really restricted cameo roles these days. Joined the club, in 1978, would you believe? Team to the World Youth Championship in Australia in '81. Just going into the back of already. Sparta Praha probably be feeling this early in the group. They're not going to make the quarterfinals. They've got Galatasaray only away to come in the next 2 games. And they go to Parma for entertaining Borussia Dortmund in the final match in the section for both these clubs. The last rights now. Borussia Dortmund happy with what they have. Sparta and Greece gave their wounded pride a little bit of a lift with the 5th goal of the game. It's a good score in the 5th with the others of the other 4. They're still looking for more. Zizek. Abadi. Oh, a free kick within shooting range. Others came out quickly. Number 7. He goes on. Gabriel there as well. Substitutes. It is Zizek. And cross work. Over the wall, over the crossbar, and stopping because discomfited by it. Reinhardt. There's room there for Miller. And it mattered little at this stage. The opening half an hour of this second half is a much more positive statement by Borussia Dortmund. was Zorc. They found the ball suddenly, arriving. I didn't know it was Shakuza. It would have been the hat-trick. But he's not quite as effective on the right foot, although he struck it pretty well. And the reaction from Hajek. Taken. Definitely allowed by the referee from the position a few yards away from where the events took place. The second half performance, indeed the general level of play in the second half from both sides, much more in keeping with what we hope to bring you on this splendid UEFA Champions League. Their own fans, Borussia Dortmund, as we saw at times in Turkey 2 weeks ago. They got better against Galatasaray and came home with the points. They certainly got better and better here to win by a very convincing margin. No one was quite sure at the start, but Sparta's men got down to business. The early goal after 20 minutes from Helic settled the nerves. But the second half show was much more reminiscent of their campaign so successful last year. 2 goals from Shakuza, both exquisitely taken. A leaping header from Jörg Heinrich as well. Siegel getting one back for Sparta Praha. But on the night, they were as second best as the final scoreline suggests. We take our lead from the Sparta Stadium. Good night to you all, wherever you're watching. Final score, Borussia Dortmund 4, Sparta Praha 1.